Okay, so President Biden just gave an update on Medicare and Social Security benefits, and he came out and basically said that if Republicans win in these midterms coming up in November, that Social Security will be on the chopping block. Basically saying that Republicans are trying to end or deplete Social Security benefits. So, in this video, we're going to cover exactly what President Biden said. We're also going to kind of call out President Biden because he made a lot of promises on the campaign trail before he became president when it comes to Social Security benefits, and he really hasn't kept any of those. Now, again, I never try and pick sides politically on this channel, but the point is, I want to tell you what President Biden said about Republicans, but I also, to be fair, want to point out the fact that he hasn't kept his promises either. With that said, we'll also do a quick recap on COLA for 2023, what we expect the increase to be, and when we expect that to officially be announced. If you guys want to see the update, I did a specific update on what the COLA should be on my channel. Go to my page, this video right here, titled October 13th, $1,700 Social Security increase for 2023. That's what we expect the average increase to be. But President Biden is essentially saying that Social Security is going to be on the chopping block if Republicans take control of Congress. Now, remember, in November, Democrats could potentially lose both chambers, right? They could lose House seats in the House and seats in the Senate, which could potentially give Republicans control of either one of the chambers or both chambers. Either way, leaving President Biden as a sitting duck, really not able to get a lot more done with his last 2 years in office unless he uses executive action. Now, what President Biden is referring to by when he says they're going to be putting Social Security on the chopping block is the fact that Republicans came out and said last week that essentially what they want to do is they want to create a situation where every year, every 12 months, or every 5 years, these programs are reassessed and brought back to a vote. So, for example, right now we have Social Security benefits funded by the payroll tax, and that cannot be touched, right? That is not brought up to a vote. That really, you need basically a majority vote, 60 votes in the Senate to get any changes done. These things are never even brought to a vote. And what Republicans want to do, last week they announced that they believe that once a year, or at least some of them believe that once a year or once every 5 years, Social Security and Medicare, these programs, should be reassessed. Should they lower the taxes? Should they increase the taxes? Should they increase benefits? Should they lower benefits? Should they change the way COLA is calculated? And basically, because of their history, right? Because of the history that Republicans typically have had, not all of them, all right, let's be fair here, not all of them, but a lot of Republicans historically have wanted to cut benefits, raise the age at which you can get full benefits. Remember, for people born after 1960, you now have to be 67 years old to be qualify for full retirement benefits, right? If you take them before then, you're going to get your benefits cut. And historically, Republicans have wanted to keep increasing that age, right? So Republicans haven't come out and said recently, like, you know what, we want to cut benefits, but because they want to put this committee together and they basically want to reassess benefits every year or every 5 years, President Biden is essentially saying they're putting benefits on the chopping block, right? Putting it on the floor for a vote every year or every 5 years, year in and year out. It's going to create more risk for benefits to be cut. That's basically what he's saying. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, to be fair, President Biden hasn't done that great of a job himself either, right? Let's think back to everything he promised when he was on the campaign trail. The biggest of which was the $200 per month. If we go back to the stimulus era, they were saying President Biden came out and said he supported the idea of giving people on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and VA benefits, giving them $200 per month until the pandemic was over, right? Let me know in the comments if you guys remember that. And kind of the saddest part here is not only did he win, right? He won, obviously, but also the Democrats, the leadership in the Democratic Party that supported this idea, even thought of this idea, as Chuck Schumer, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Nancy Pelosi supported it, Chuck Schumer. All these Democratic leaders came into power as well, right? Chuck Schumer became the Senate Majority Leader. Remember, previously Mitch McConnell was the Majority Leader. Chuck Schumer was the Minority Leader, so he had less power. Chuck Schumer became the Majority Leader once Democrats took a majority control of the Senate. So that gave him a lot more power and influence in the Senate. Nancy Pelosi obviously continued to be the House Majority Leader. Then we had Bernie Sanders become the Senate Budget Committee chair, which has a lot of influence when it comes to those reconciliation packages, which were basically the stimulus packages. And of course, we had President Biden in office, and even Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, when she was running initially for president initially, she said she supported these massive stimulus checks of $2,000 per month for basically everybody, right? And she even supported the $200 a month for seniors. So we had all this leadership, right? They promised all these things. They said they supported all these things. They came into power. None of it came to fruition, right? They didn't even really push on it too much. And a lot of this was because of Joe Manchin, right? We all know the saga with Joe Manchin. We'll talk about Joe Manchin more in a second, but basically, what I want to point out is, let's be honest here, folks. We're not happy with Republicans when it comes to benefits, but we're not happy with Democrats either, right? And President Biden not only came out and slammed Republicans, he said, if you vote for Republicans, you're essentially voting to put benefits on the chopping block. He also said that he would save Social Security and Medicare from basically running out of funding, right? We know that both of these programs in the next 8 to 10 years are going to start slowly running out of funding, and they're going to be running at a deficit, meaning you're either going to have to increase taxes or you're going to have to start cutting benefits, right? The problem is he didn't say exactly what he's going to do. And if we think back again to when he ran, President Biden basically said, we're going to increase the payroll tax for the wealthy, to keep it simple. And basically, that's going to bring in more revenue. Right now, if you make about $140,000 per year or more, you stop paying into the payroll tax, which means you stop paying into Social Security benefits. He wants to change that. He also wanted to increase benefits for those who are at the lowest income level and make sure everyone's getting at least 125% of the federal poverty level from their benefits. That was great. He also wanted to increase benefits for widows and for those who have been on benefits for 20 years or more, because these folks tend to have the most health issues and really they tend to have the most financial burden, right? And none of that came to fruition, right? We're still hoping that could happen, but I really want to point out that with these midterms coming up, we're seeing President Biden come out, basically slam Republicans saying this is going to be the end of Social Security benefits. Benefits are going to be on the chopping block, which, in some ways could be true. But even if Democrats stay in power, we don't know if anything's going to get done with Joe Manchin, still blocking everything, Kirsten Sinema still blocking everything. And we all know, right, the last couple of years, Joe Manchin had this leverage where they had the 50-50 Senate, and he knew that he could get what he wanted by telling Democrats, nope, you're not going to get this done. We're going to block your packages. We're going to block benefit increases, because he wanted to get something, right? We all knew at the end of the day, Joe Manchin wanted to get something done. And it came out recently that basically Chuck Schumer promised Joe Manchin that if he helped him approve the Inflation Reduction Act, right, that last package they did, that if Joe Manchin voted to approve that, Chuck Schumer promised him he would bring one of his packages to a vote, one of Manchin's packages to a vote, and try and help him get that approved. And basically what that was, if you guys don't know, you probably know at this point, Joe Manchin, he's involved in the coal mining business. He owns a coal brokerage, basically, which helps buy and sell coal. Makes a ton of money, not only from this company, but also from donations from other companies in the industry, right? And essentially, he was trying to make the permitting process to get permits approved to build more of these pipelines. He was trying to streamline that and make that easier, right? Taking advantage of the fact, that we have this geopolitical crisis. We kind of have an energy shortage. We have Russia using that leverage, using that, right, on top of the fact that he has leverage in the Senate to try and get those permit process, kind of made more lenient, right? That backfired. Recently, he basically backed off for now, saying he's not going to try and get that done. But really, that's the only reason Joe Manchin even voted for the Inflation Reduction Act. This whole time, he's using that leverage, leveraging the American people and what they need to get his own agenda done, right? So, folks, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Basically, what we have going on is we have the midterm elections coming up in a couple of months in November. We have President Biden slamming Republicans, saying if you vote Republican, you're basically voting to put Social Security benefits on the chopping block. But at the same time, we have Biden making promises for 2 years, and we have yet to see these things come to fruition, folks. At the same time, October 13th, we expect, not certain yet, but we expect an official announcement on what the COLA for 2023 will be. So, guys, stay posted. I will keep you posted as things develop. With that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to support my channel, consider clicking the link in the description and the comments of this video. You'll get 12 free stocks completely free from our partner Webull. All you have to do is sign up and deposit even just one single penny. Supports our work and it's free money, so you might as well do it. And guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.